Welcome back to the wonderful world with Ryan, and today we are going to be talking about the Rosetta spoonbill. But before we begin, go ahead and hit that subscription box below and the notification bell above. So this was a pretty active bird, but hopefully we get some pretty good images here. It's going to be a little fuzzy sometimes because of the we were shooting through a pane of glass that was quite dirty. So before we begin, this was shot at the Bronx Zoo in New York City in October of 2018. So let's get into the funness of this video, and we are going to talk about the scientifics of this bird, this lovely bird. So, Kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Avis, order Pelecaniformis, family Therasondate, genus Platyelea, species is Platyelea ajaja. So, the spoonbill, it's called the Rosetta spoonbill, is the common name. Something placed in the order of ajaja, which is a wading bird of the ibis or spoonbill family. The Roseate is the resident breeder in South America, most likely east of the Andes. It's the coastal region of the Caribbean, Central America, Mexico, Gulf Coast of Mexico, and most Central Florida Atlantic coast. Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge, joined with NASA Kennedy Space Center, at least as far as south as South Carolina's Huntington Beach State Park. Now, let's talk about the taxonomy of the bird. In a 2001 study, microcordial DNA of the spoonbill by Chaser. Oh, he's going behind this bush. The spoonbill by Chaser and colleagues found that the Rosetta and the yellow-billed spoonbills were each other's closest relatives, and the two are descendants from an earlier offshoot from the ancestors of their four spoon-billed species that felt the genetic evidence meant it was equally valid to consider all six to be classified as the genus Platyella. Alternatives, the two species in the monophoric genera Platypus and Aja retrospectively. However, as the six species were so similar morphology, keeping them within the one genus made more sense. The Rosetta spoonbill can be as long as 28 to 34 inches long, 47 to 52 inches in wingspan. The body mass can go from 2.5 pounds to 4.5 pounds. The Tosaurus measures from about 3.5 to 5 inches. The culmen, and if you want to know what a culmen is, that is the beak or bill. So their funny bill, their culmen measures about 5 to 7. Now, I was wondering what the culmen means. That means from, if you look at the top of his head where the head begins down to the very tip of the spoon, that's where it is. The wings measure anywhere between 12 and 15 inches. Thus the legs, bill, and neck, the specular bill, all appear elongated, which clearly you can see as he's spooning for food. Adults have a large, bare, greenish head, golden buff when breeding, with a white neck. So you can see here he is got that. You're starting to see kind of just some oddness of him, but this is he's not in breeding season. Otherwise, it's a deep pink with bills in gray. Oh, here comes another one. So, there are no specific sexual dimorphism. Dimorphism is where boys and girls look different. So this, we can't tell just by looking if it's a boy or a girl because the colored variation gives us nothing. Like the American flamingo, the pink color is diet-derived, consisting of carotenoid pigment, cathoratine. Another carotenoid, astrathin, can be found in its body, flight, and body feathers. The color can range from pale pink to bright magenta depending on the age, when breeding or not, and location. Unlike herons, spoonbills fly with their necks outstretched. They alternate groups of stiff swallow wingbeaks with glides. So clearly, because this is a zoo, I don't have any pictures of them flying. So next thing we're going to talk about is their behavior. The species is a shallow, fresh, or coastal waters by swinging its bill from side to side as it steadily walks through water, which we can see happening often in groups. The spoon-shaped allows it to sift through the mud. It feeds on crustaceans, aquatic insects, frogs, newts, very small fish, ignored by large waders. In the United States, a popular place to observe Rosetta spoonbills is Ding, Darling National Wildlife Refuge in Florida. Rosetta spoonbills most compete for food with snowy egrets, great egrets, tricolored herons, American white pelicans, and other small mammals. Then we have the breeding process of this lovely bird. So the breeding process is thus. The Rosetta spoonbill nest in shrubs of trees, often mangroves, laying 2 to 5 eggs with whitish or brownish markings. Immature birds have white feathered heads, and the pink of the plumage is paler. The birth is a yellowish or pinkish. Conservation and threats. Information about predation or adult is lacking. Nestings are something killed by turkey vultures, bald eagles, raccoons, fire ants, which are a big thing in the South, surprisingly. And in 2006, a 16-year-old banned bird was discovered, making it the oldest wild individual. So you'll be able to see that these do get significantly older birds. Now again, thanks for joining me with the wonderful world of Ryan, and go ahead and hit the notification bell below and the subscription box below and the notification bell above so that you can find out when we do other episodes. Now this bird was really moving throughout the experience, so I'm glad that you were able to see. Here he is moving. Here he or she is moving at normal speed. You can see how they're kind of moving pretty quickly. Again, thanks for joining me.